One step beyond you. Only one step. One step. Only one step. One step. One step beyond you. Only one step.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is your girl Erica Lynn, and welcome to One Step Beyond You, home of motivation and inspiration. You guys know that each week I bring you different topics that would inspire and motivate you onto the next level of your life. This week, I want to know, what is your purpose? How do you know when you have discovered your purpose? So today, joining me live this morning, Friday, 7 a.m., October 11th, is Deja Nance, my special guest.
Hello.
Hi, Deja. So this morning, we didn't really prepare content like I normally do every week because I just want to kick it with Deja, and I want you guys to kind of see us in our most authentic moments and how we do things. And so, like I said, I want to talk about discovering your purpose. And so, I know for me, I've been on a journey of discovering my purpose, and there's times where I've had roadblocks and I couldn't quite figure out what my next move was. And I was like 41 years old, really, before I discovered what my purpose is. But for you, I want to know, do you even know what your purpose is?
I thought I did.
Okay.
But now I actually have no idea.
Okay. And what did you think originally was your purpose?
To be an international flight attendant and use translation, so basically a bilingual flight attendant.
Okay. And what changed the thought process of you being, of knowing your purpose of being an international flight attendant?
Well, the interview process, going through, it took me months to get through the entire process. Video interviews, assessment tests, all types of things. And I made it to the finals and did the face-to-face with the recruiters. And going there that day, seeing all the other people who were there to interview as well in that final spot, just kind of made me realize, like, maybe I may not be suitable for this, or this just may not be what they're particularly looking for.
Okay.
So now I'm back to square one.
Okay.
I don't really have an idea of what I should be doing. So, yeah.
You don't have an idea of what you should be doing. So have you took the time to write a list of all your interests?
Yes, I have.
Okay. And what were some of those things that is of interest to you?
Traveling, helping people,
Okay.
and using my language skill.
Okay. And what language is that exactly?
Mandarin Chinese.
Mandarin Chinese. So you speak fluent Mandarin Chinese.
Yes.
And you live abroad,
Yes.
but you kind of want to change that a little bit so that you can fly all over the world, use your Mandarin and use your English.
Yeah, I wanted to try coming back home, getting a job here, like being based here, but being able to travel everywhere else.
Okay. Okay. And first of all, we love to have you here because you are phenomenal and wonderful and a blessing to all. And so as we were discovering what our purpose is, here you go, sir. As we were discovering, what our purpose is, like I was saying before, we have a lot of roadblocks that stop us. And what's most important is, even when you get those roadblocks, is how you overcome those roadblocks and continue to push past and discover what your purpose is. So, for example, you want to be an international flight attendant and speak Mandarin and so on and so forth. But what if that wasn't the purpose that God had placed inside of you? What if God says, I wanted you to be a school teacher, or I want you to open up a translation business, or a home care facility where all your patients are Chinese and so you can speak Chinese to them. But have you ever given it some consideration that even though you think that this is what your purpose should be, but God has another plan for you as to what your purpose will be?
I've thought about it. I mean, I have tried other jobs. You know that more than they do. Many careers, from real estate agent to actually being a translator to being a Chinese teacher to an English teacher to working in international sales. I mean, I've done it all, but I found out what suits me best, what makes me happy in a job place or a job environment is when I'm not in an office, but I get to be face to face with my customers.
Okay.
And I'm actually able to move around, and that work environment is always different. It's not always pick up the phone, send an email. It just doesn't fit me. I've done it. I've tried it.
Okay.
But I'm happier when I'm in a space that's hands-on, and I get to see the people I'm working with, and I get to talk to them, and I get to go to different places.
Okay. So you're a people person. You like customer service, and you don't want to just be stuck behind the desk or answering the phone. You want to be up in their face, communicating with the people on the day-to-day basis. So that's going to give us some thought. By the time we make it to the end of the show, I'm going to come up with some ideas for you, because I have some, but I just want to, discover a little bit more of what your purpose is, or what you think is your purpose. And I always like to give personal examples to my audience about things about me, so that they can connect with me as well. I know they see me behind the camera all the time or on stage, but I like to always like to share. And I have told you guys that my life didn't change until I was 41 years old. So from the age of 17 years old to 41, I didn't have a purpose. I used to hang out and party, although I started having children at 18. So first of all, let's go back. I dropped out of school when I was 16 years old. And I remember somebody telling me that I'll never be anything in life. And so when I got pregnant with my first child at age 17, this person says, you're going to be a statistic, you're going to be a waste, and you're not going to accomplish anything in your life, and you having a baby. So it was a determination for me that by the time I turned 18 and by the time my child came out, that I accomplished something in my life. So I went to school and studied and took my GED, in which I had really, really high scores. So I knew that I was not a dummy. I just was not exercising my full potential at the time. So for the next 20 years, I had 3 kids. You are included as one. And so I lived in a place of partying and trying to figure out what my purpose is. If I wasn't partying or raising children or being a mother, I really didn't have anything that I was passionate about. I attempted to go to school a time or two, or try to apply for management positions at different places. But when you're not qualified, that only limits you to certain things in your life. And if you don't, hone in and learn extra skills, even if you don't have a degree, a person may not want to hire you in their organization on a higher level. Everybody wants to start you at entry level. And when you're trying to take care of 3 children, that just you just feel defeated. So I had been feeling defeated for most of my life, and never striving for more, never striving or inspiring to be anything, because I always thought that my blessing will come being connected to you guys. My blessing will come being connected to your father. Like, he was going to blow up and be famous, and you guys were going to blow up and be famous, and as your mom, y'all instantly had to take care of me, or as his ex-wife, he had to take care of me. But I realized, after going through a lot of trials and tribulations throughout the years, that at age 41 years old, I was not feeling fulfilled. When you moved out at 16, she moved out at 16, and she moved abroad to Taiwan. And my youngest son, he was living out of state with their father. So I was left alone. So all my life, I had spent all of my life raising kids and living my life for you guys, but I didn't have any passions of my own. So first of all, I cried every day for 1 year. Can you imagine waking up every day, going to an office crying? So I totally did not feel fulfilled. And throughout that journey, that's led to the road of me discovering what my purpose is. And so for you, what things like you've tried different things in Taiwan of finding out your niche or what do you like or what your purpose is, but what other things that you think you might like?
I'm not sure. Like my best fit, like something that I found that like checked all the requirements on the checklist of things that I'm interested in was an international flight attendant. I love to travel, love to be hands-on with the customers, be face-to-face with the customers, talk to the customers, not be in an office environment. I mean, you're in a plane when you're a flight attendant. You're traveling from place to place. Your off days are in different countries, in different states, you know. I'm not just stuck in one place. And then the business environment is kind of hectic, so it gives you a challenge. I don't have the same assignment every day. You know, I'm not bored. I'm not, okay, well, I probably need more. There's always room to grow. So the main thing for me is to find a career where I do have room to grow.
Right.
Because, like, when I was a real estate agent, there wasn't any room to grow. You just get your quota of sales. Your sales was your commission. That's how you made your money. When I was an international sales agent, same thing. You get your sales, your commission. When I worked as a dance teacher, it was basically like, if I don't have students, I don't have money. It was all about money, but not really any passion to grow in a career. And that's what I was looking for. I want, you know, a career I can do for years, not just go in and go out like, hey, I can get a job at a call center. I'll do this for 2-3 years, maybe make some money, get some in my account. I want something that I can start with, continue to do each year, grow, maybe make my way up to CEO eventually. Or like with flight attendants, if you start at the bottom, you can eventually become a recruiter, go into HR, still be a flight attendant on the side, but recruit other flight attendants, get your seniority up there, build up to eventually where you're higher in the company, you know. So that's my goal, is to find a career that I can do for years, build up, keep growing, and still have that passion for it every single day, and not dread going to work.
Right. Oh, I totally agree, because I have been in that place at a time. And then, like, going forward, when I went to school and I graduated from school, my goal for becoming a medical biller and coder was that I can eventually work from home. So any company that I work for, they allow, you know, billers to work from home, and you go and visit the doctor's offices or different places that you need to bill. But that was my ultimate goal. And I found when I got into the companies that I'm in, they do not allow you to bill from home. So now I'm faced with what you feel like, you're stuck behind a desk, you can't answer the phone. And so every day that year that I cried every day for a year, I cried because not only you were gone, and Jalen was gone, and Q was in his 20s, and so he was moving into his own place. But I cried because I said, I worked so hard, God. It took me 4 years to get my degree. And then after I finished with my degree, I went on to get a certification. So it took me 5 years to obtain the things that I need. And I landed in the job in the field that I wanted to be in. But then I didn't feel fulfilled. I didn't feel fulfilled at all. And so when I cried every day, it was tears of disappointment. Like, man, I done spent all this money, you know, on paying for school. I just don't know what to do. The kids, they didn't pop off, so they didn't come and rescue me and say, Mama, we bought you a mansion, you know. But through that process was when I discovered my purpose. Through that process of tears, of sadness, of pain, is where my purpose came out. And I know I have told you this before, and I have talked to other people. I was at a point where I was basically suicidal because I was just so depressed. I was so sad. Like, at 40 years old, I did all this hard work and I don't feel fulfilled. But it was when I turned to God and I began to pray, and He came into my life, and He sent people into my life to kind of help me figure things out, help me fix the inner pains and hurts first. So your situation will be a little bit different than mine. I had a lot of inner hurts and pains because at 40 years old, just face it, you go through a lot of stuff. But when I began to heal myself on the inside, then it was asked to me once I was at a better point of what I want to do. I said, I want to be a motivational speaker. I want to be a transformational coach. I want to write a book, and I want to do a podcast. Now you talking about your mom who has never done any of this, because you're the writer in the family. Mm-hmm. So I also thought you were going to be a writer. Mm-hmm. You know, I thought you were going to write blogs and books and articles and, you know, and you did nothing of that. So it was like everything that I said I wanted to do, it was a little piece of each one of you guys. Because Kulante he was an inspiring artist, a producer. What else does he do?
Music. He does producing. Kulante is just out there.
And he dances.
Dancing. Yeah.
Right. And then you have Jalen, who is the producer of this show. Mm-hmm. He does awesome graphics. Mm-hmm. He's an editor. We're gonna claim this. He's a pro skater. And what I found is that when I learned to trust in his skills, man, he critiques the heck out of me. And when I actually listen to him, it works. Mm-hmm. So now we have you who can speak Chinese, who can sing, you can dance, you are a writer, you can get on stage and give talks. What else you do?
Model occasionally.
That's right. We can't forget about that because, you know, you guys see her pictures all over.
Occasionally.
And so I remember having a dream one day that I was on stage and the crowd was cheering. And when I woke up the next day, I assumed that I was on stage introducing one of you guys to come and perform. I had no idea that was me that was on stage speaking to the audience, and they were actually cheering for me. Because I questioned, where did my kids get all this talent from? I thought that all of you guys' talent came from your father. Mm-hmm. Because he was great. He was a great artist in his time. So I thought everything that's inside of you, like I just thought that I just birthed you. that was my only job here, was to birth you, change your diapers, raise you guys, get you where you are today. But then I realized after going through this process that a lot of these talents that's inside of you guys came from me. Although I can't sing, and I've tried. I sang at the last event I spoke at, but that's okay. Although I've tried to sing, I realized that my purpose is beyond more than what I thought. All those times that you called me home crying, Mama, this ain't going right. That's not going right. And I encouraged you and motivated you to keep pushing. I know that you in another country and things were not going right. So keep pushing and keep moving. When Jalen, he says, I'm going to be a pro skater, and all he did is skate all day. He helped me produce, but he couldn't figure out what he wanted to do. And when I began to speak into his life, if this is what you want to do, you're going to claim it. You're going to claim that I am a pro skater. You're going to claim wherever it is that you're going in life. And when your oldest brother, was working at Chrysler, this is not what he wanted. This was not fulfilling him. Working at Chrysler, punching the clock every day, hurting his body, working on the line. I encouraged him. I motivated him to step out on faith and just book that plane ticket and go. So when I realized that I can encourage and motivate my own kids, man, I think I actually might got something to this. So along the lines of discovering who I am, I discovered what my purpose is through the start of helping my own family. So I said all that to say, sometimes something that you're currently doing and how you're helping people and how you are aspiring young black girls and women all over the world, that your life does not just consist of being in America. Mm-hmm. That your life does not just consist of working a 9 to 5. Mm-hmm. There's so many things that you could do out here in this world other than what the quote unquote norm is, you can design and create your own destiny.
I agree.
And so there is a lot of things that you can do. Now, I'm not going to take credit for this idea, okay? Because I had a long conversation with my aunt. I called my aunt, who is, she used to be a wonderful dancer in New York. And I think she worked for Alex Haley. She used to be a ballerina and did wonderful dancing when I was a little girl. And so we were talking yesterday, and I said, I want you to spend some time with Deja, trying to help her figure out what it is that fits her. And she said she can do so many things because she was blessed with so many talents, and it's so much inside of her. And you can take all of everything that's in you and use it. You can start your own company. Mm-hmm. You can start your own translation company. You can get on the phone. You can reach out to companies who have established translation companies and say, hey, can I come and work for you guys? Do you need me to go to the doctor and translate for a patient what it is? You can apply for the UN, the United Nations. They need people all the time to translate. You can go sit in the courtrooms and translate for the judges. Like, there's so many things that you could do to use the talents that's inside of you. All you have to do is begin to fight behind the negative thoughts that's inside of you. See, sometimes we talk ourselves out of doing our thing. Sometimes we get in our own way. But when you look beyond those things and look beyond what you think is right and push past it and create limitations that weren't there, move past limitations that are there and create new ones and keep going and take them one step after another step after another step, you're going to be like, man, Deja's successful international translation business. What I'm just saying. But what do you think about what I'm saying to you?
I hear you. I do.
Mm-hmm.
It just, well, I don't know. Because we thought about that before. Me and Kulante, we were going to start like what we call Lean Industries, because that's our last name in Chinese. Mm-hmm. And we were going to do like a kind of like a international liaison and translation business. So when foreigners go out the country and they need help to find homes and jobs, and we would be like that international agent for them. Okay. Hook them up, get them their connections they needed, find them, help them find houses since we had real estate experience. Right. Help them communicate with like businesses and things since we do have the language experience and I had translation experience. And then also coach them on how to start a life abroad since we lived there, Mm-hmm. But it was, I guess we kind of got stuck with it and never took off. And then I started doing something else. That's when I started the music company that Kulante is running down there. And I don't know. My problem is I tend to change my goals a lot, or I can start something, I'll do it, I'll complete it. I won't give up before I finish it, but then once I'm doing it, I lose the love for it. Okay. I don't keep that passion. It's like when you get married, they say, the honeymoon phase. I'm liking it for the first 2 weeks that I finally completed the stages, and then I fall out of love with it. The honeymoon phase is over. That's how I am with everything I do. Yeah. So that's why I feel like, well, maybe this isn't for me because I'm not happy doing it every day. I don't feel that same passion I did when I said I should do it. Right. Just like with dance, I said I was going to be famous, at one point, be a singer, dancer, be like Beyonce and Sierra. But once I started doing that, my passion kind of left. I felt like, okay, maybe I need a break, or maybe this should be what Q is supposed to do. Right. Maybe this isn't what I should be doing. Even though I can do it, maybe this isn't my passion. So, I don't know. I'm just at that point in my life where I really have no idea. Right. Mm-hmm. So sometimes, but if you think about it like this, like you started the music company and your brother is running it. Mm-hmm. So as you were developing these things, you still develop them. Don't give up on them. But then you hire somebody else to come in and run your business. So then 5-10 years later down the line, you started these companies
You've grown them, you perfected them, you worked out all the kinks, but you gave them to somebody else to manage. Now you got residual income coming in. So every passion that you start it until the point where you get revenue coming in. So at least now you have revenue coming from this idea. Like you just didn't start this idea and throw it away, and you just threw the money away. So go through it, go through the process, get the business up running so that you got income from it, and then go to the next thing and start it and get it up going, because you may go through different companies or businesses or ideas until you figure it out. But whatever you start, don't stop. Keep doing it to where you're getting the check. Even when you wanted to be like Beyonce, once you register with BMI and you put an album out, make it stream. Get some streaming income. So now you're getting a royalty check. You might not want to sing every month, but you like, dang, at least when I was acting like Beyonce, I still got a royalty check coming from that experience. So you're going to go through a lot of things, and if you set it up the right way, you might want to come back and visit it later on in life. So don't just start a business or start an idea and just forget about it. See it through until you get it to stand on its own, and you can get somebody else to come in. You can get a co-owner or co-partner to come in and keep the business running. Because you think about all the money and the time that you have spent developing this idea that you just threw away. So and they tell you that it takes 3 to 5 years to get a business up and running and off the ground. So now I'm in my second year into motivating into One Step Beyond You, and we're going into the third year. Don't you think that I wanted to stop? Or don't you think that I had thoughts of what was I doing? So even though I have passion of being a motivational speaker, you still have to set your business up the right way. So for me, my passion, I want to get on stage and encourage you like Les Brown. You got to be hungry. Now, but the thing is, I got a piece of hair on my face. The thing is about people who don't set up their business the right way, all you are on stage is just a motivational speaker. And granted, the Bible says that your gifts, that your gifts will make room for you. But you also got to set yourself up the right way. So all I'm saying to you is, while you're going through the process of discovering who you are and what your purpose is, because you're only 21 years old.
Yeah, but I don't like that sentence. So people say, well, you're only such and such, or you're only 20, you're only 25, you still got a lot to go. I hate that stigma that we have to be, in our late 20s and our early 30s to know what we need to do. So I don't know. Granted, I am young, but I want to be able to know my goal, my purpose now, and start it. That way I can work for years and retire early or retire by the time I'm your age. I don't want to wait till I'm late to know my purpose.
By the time you my age. No.
Yeah.
Well, but those are good goals. Those are good goals. And you have to put in place those are good goals to have. But then you got to begin to put things in perspective. So when you begin to develop and discover who you are, you got to be fearless. Okay? So that's step one. You have to be fearless. You got to just step out here, be big and bold. Like, I'm not afraid to try new things. Then you got to have strength. Right? So your strength that's instilled in you, that God has placed things in you. You got your family support. You have friend support. You have people that love you. And so your strength comes in numbers. Your strength comes from the support that you have. Then you got to trust in yourself. You got to trust in your gifts. You got to trust in your talents. You got to trust inside yourself. You got to trust that everything that God has placed inside of you is for a reason. Because you could be blessed in a position to help thousands of people. And you just got to keep going in pursuit of figuring out, why did God place me with all this talent? Because you have so much talent in this little bitty body. Like, you guys can't see her because she's on camera, but if you ever look at the pictures, like, she's really little. Sometimes I surprise myself that a woman is my beautiful stature and size, you know. I birthed such a beautiful young lady, first of all. But you are little. But to be little, you have so much inside of you. Like, everything that's inside of you makes you look 6 feet tall. You know, all this talent, all of the passion. When you fight for something, you fight. You probably could be a advocate for. Do you like politics?
I did at a point. I didn't keep up with it after like high school.
Maybe you want to fight against Trump. No. Hey, look, I was trying not to say that. I'm not in. I'm not into politics. And what we got? I can't see. Oh, okay. Oh, so we've been going for 30 minutes, sir. Thank you very much. My producer, I'm gonna beat him up this morning, y'all. And he not under 18 no more, so I can fight a kid. I'm just joking. But I didn't realize we were just having such an awesome conversation. And I think we're going to have to break this into a 2-part series.
Okay.
And we're going to have to continue on talking about what is your purpose. And the reason why we're going to have to break it up to a 2-part series, because I have such a wonderful event tomorrow, Motivating Into Your Purpose 2019. And I don't want to give away all my great content for the event tomorrow, but the content that is going to come out of my mouth, the information that I am going to provide to you guys, I'm not only going to use it on her, but I'm going to help you discover what your purpose is as well. Just like I help my family and my friends and my clients, I want to be a blessing to you all. And so the only reason why I had to surface level today's talk is because it's hard to keep inside of me all the things. I'm excited about what I got to share with everybody tomorrow. Yeah. Now, you guys can call us at 1-888-443-1112 or go on the website. That's www.onestepbeyondyou.com. That's the number 1 STEPBEYOND, the letter U.com. Call me and ask me, how can I get information to Motivating Into Your Purpose 2019? Because the event is going to be phenomenal. And yes, I'm so excited. And at least I could drop a little nugget today since the event tomorrow. Deja is going to put on a special presentation for other people, for people tomorrow. And it's going to be in Chinese and English. Now, Deja, before we close out, I want you to speak to the people in Chinese. And I want you to tell them what a blessing it is to be walking and discovering what your purpose is. And it's okay to not know what your purpose is. But as long as you are on the journey and in pursuit of discovering, you're going to find out.
Okay. 如果你跟我一样，真的不知道你应该做什么，真的不知道你的目标是什么，但是你在很努力的、很认真的找到你的目标，那你就可以的，就一直加油，不要放弃，不要觉得你的生活没什么意思，就加油。
Wow, thank you for that. So I gave you guys a little taste of what I experience when I go to Taiwan to visit her. And she won't even translate for me because she said, I keep telling you that you have to learn Chinese. And I'm like, girl, you know I'm old, too old. But that's just a cop-out. So my goal by next year is to make sure that I've learned at least a couple of sentences or some paragraphs so that when I go and visit, I can communicate with the locals. And besides, I got a feeling out of the 3 of y'all, I'm going to have a couple of Asian grandbabies. So that was a blessing. I thank you so much for getting up and coming and joining us this morning on One Step Beyond You, you guys. And like I said, this is just an interim of us discovering and working on the background of things that she's done and figuring out where she is and understanding her limitations. So when we come back to you live next week, I promise you we're going to have some results as to what her purpose is. How do we arrive at that solution? What was the changing factor to help her determine what her purpose is? And how I was just such a blessing just being her mama. But I know we were talking about her, but I just wanted, to show you guys as an example. I don't just talk to you. I don't just talk to my clients, but I pour into my own family as well. And as long as I was able to get out of my way and get out of the pains and hurts of my past, then I was able to walk into my purpose and discover who God called me to be. So he called me to be a motivational speaker. He called me to be a transformational coach. He called me to write 7 books, and one being 7 techniques of healing. He has called me to do this podcast. And do you think that everything that I'm doing is easy? Not at all. I'm super tired because I got in late last night. Still got up at 4:45 this morning so that I could shoot this show. 1 Step Beyond You podcast. But my point is, it took me a minute to get here. It took me a journey. It took me a road. It took doors closing in my face. It took people telling me no. It took all those pains and abuse and hurts and all those things that I've experienced. It took me being a young mother at 17, 18 years old. For me today at 43 years old to tell you that I am standing in my purpose, and that I am blessed, and I am appreciative, and I am grateful to pour out everything that God has placed inside of me onto you as you guys hear my voice and follow me. So I thank you for being faithful watchers. I thank you for discovering what your purpose is and who or what you were called to be. So make sure you join us next Friday, 7 a.m. on 1 Step Beyond You. Did I tell you? Did you like? It's over here. Did you like this page? Make sure you like the page. Don't forget to subscribe. You got to subscribe also. Right. So we'll see you on the YouTube channel. We'll see you on Facebook. We will see you on Instagram at one. Oh, Deja, before we forget, tell people how do they reach you?
Well, you can follow my Instagram, see a bunch of my wonderful model pics if you're interested. Some of my dance classes that I've done on Face Me on Instagram. That's FACEMEE. So Face Me. And me with 2 E's. My Facebook is kind of personal. I only use that to contact with my family, so you can follow my Instagram. And you can see me tomorrow at my mother's event, Motivating Into Your Purpose 2019. Tickets will be sold at the door. I will be at the front desk signing you guys in so we can talk. And don't be afraid to show out and support my wonderful mom. So see you guys tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. And thank you for joining us once again on 1 Step Beyond You. And just remember, it only takes just 1 step beyond you. God bless you.
Only 1 step, 1 step. Only 1 step, 1 step. 1 step beyond you. Only 1 step, 1 step. Only 1 step.